So hi everyone, I'm Amy Cultivo, title and researcher with their affiliation. This study, screening for adolescent idiopathic scoliosis among grade 6 pupils of a private school in northern Philippines, a basis for scoliosis prevention program, aims to assess the risk of adolescents' idiopathic scoliosis or AIS among the student. The findings serve as a foundation for developing a school-based scoliosis screening program to detect and prevent the spinal deformities early. The research was conducted by a team of medical and academic professionals from the University of LaSalle Incorporation and Batanes State College, each bringing expertise in different fields. So the first researcher is Dr. Belinda A. Ramos, MD, MSPH, FPAMS, a school physician specializing in public health and medical research, contributing medical expertise to the study. The second researcher is Lorna S. Sable, PTRP, RN, MSPH, a physical therapy program coordinator and registered nurse, ensuring a clinical perspective on scoliosis screening. The third researcher is Roxanne G. Santos, PTRP, a research instructor in physical therapy, adding academic and practical knowledge on posture and spinal health. The last is Ferdinand Bulusan, PhD and LPT, an assistant professor at Batanes State College, providing educational and analytical expertise for the study. So each researcher played a crucial role in designing and executing the study, ensuring a comprehensive assessment of scoliosis risk among young students.
Hello everyone, I'm Jericho Dalida and I will be discussing the goal of the study. For us to further understand, its goal is to evaluate the risk of adolescent idiopathic scoliosis or AIS among 6th grade students in a private school in the northern Philippines. The study aims to identify students who may be at risk and use the findings to justify the implementation of a school-based scoliosis screening program. By detecting scoliosis early, the program would help to prevent severe spinal deformities and reduce the necessity for surgical treatments in the future. Essentially, the study highlights the importance of early intervention to improve children's health outcomes. Thank you for listening.
Good evening, everyone. So, for my part, I will discuss what are the methods used in this study. So, here you can see that we have three methods used for this study. So, for the first method is Adam's forward bending test. So, for this method, it helps in identifying the spinal deformities by observing a during forward bending. Next is leg length discrepancy test. So, this method is for assessment checks in differences in leg lengths which can influence posture and spine alignment. And for the last method, posture deviation test. So this method is to evaluate any deviations in posture that might indicate scoliosis.
So now, let's discuss the subject of the study. The study focused on grade 6 pupils from a private school in northern Philippines to assess the risk of developing adolescents' idiopathic scoliosis or AIS, a spinal disorder common in adolescents during growth spurts. Researchers conducted physical screening to detect early signs of scoliosis such as shoulder asymmetry, postural deviations, and leg length discrepancies. They also examined whether factors like body weight and carrying heavy school bags contributed to spinal misalignment.
Good afternoon, everybody. Now let's proceed to the major findings of the study. First, the study found that 84.5% of grade 6 pupils had postural deviation, particularly shoulder asymmetry. This means that most students had uneven shoulders, which can be an early sign of scoliosis. Many of us might not even notice it, but small posture problems could already be affecting our spinal health. Second, the study identified two major risk factors for scoliosis. The first risk factor is carrying heavy school bags. The results showed that 77.6% of students carried backpacks weighing 3 to 4 kilograms for at least 5 to 10 minutes daily. The second risk factor is low body weight. The students who weighed less than 50 kilograms were more prone to postural imbalance because their bones were not strong enough to handle the extra load. These findings show that many students may already be at risk of scoliosis without even knowing it. That's why it's important to practice good posture and avoid carrying too much weight on our backs. Let's be more mindful of how we carry our school bags and take care of our spine health. Thank you.
Pleasant day, everyone. Let's move on to the next major findings of the study. Third, scoliosis screening results showed that some students are already exhibiting signs of scoliosis. The Adams Forward Bending Test, or the AFBT, revealed that 20.7% of students tested positive for spinal curvature, meaning nearly 1 in 5 may have scoliosis without knowing it. Additionally, 19% showed a leg length discrepancy of 1 to 2 centimeters, which can contribute to posture issues and spinal misalignment over time. Or, these findings emphasize the need for a school-based scoliosis screening program, since scoliosis often goes unnoticed until it becomes severe. Early detection can help students receive proper guidance or medical care, preventing serious spinal deformities that may require surgery. This study highlights the importance of scoliosis awareness and prevention. Let's practice good posture, carry school bags properly, and support screening programs to protect our spinal health.
My name is Margie Magbanwa, discussing the foreign study. A study titled Carrying a Rucksack on Either Shoulder or the Back. Load induced functional scoliosis in normal young subjects investigated the effects of carrying a backpack on spinal curvature. The research found that carrying heavy backpacks, especially on one shoulder, can induce functional scoliosis in healthy young individuals. In this study underscores the importance of how backpacks are worn. For example, carrying a backpack on both shoulders helps to evenly distribute the weight across the body, reducing the risk of creating imbalances. Additionally, wearing the backpack on one shoulder may not only induce functional scoliosis but also lead to musculoskeletal problems like neck and shoulder pain, tension headaches, and fatigue. That's all.
Local study. While specific local studies directly correlating heavy school bags to scoliosis in the Philippines are limited, the currently study emphasizes the need for localized research to address this concern within Filipino student population. The statement suggests that while there may not be many studies conducted specifically in the Philippines connecting heavy school bags to scoliosis, the research being referenced highlights the importance of conducting such a localized studies. The major finding in the context is the potential link between heavy school bags and scoliosis, a spinal condition. To effectively address this concern within the Filipino student population, it is necessary to conduct more studies within the local context. These studies could explore the unique factors affecting Filipino students, such as the typical weight of school bags, school infrastructure, or other cultural or environmental factors.
The key takeaway of this study is to highlight the growing concern over adolescent idiopathic scoliosis (AIS) among 6th graders in a private school in northern Philippines, emphasizing two key risk factors, which is postural deviations, particularly shoulder asymmetry, and the repetitive carrying of heavy school bags. Given that many students weigh less than 50 kilograms, their developing bones may be more vulnerable to spinal stress, increasing the likelihood of scoliosis. The biochemical theory of scoliosis explains how the body compensates for misalignments, which, if uncorrected, can lead to permanent deformities. The study underscored the need for early detection through school-based scoliosis screening programs, similar to those in first-world countries, to prevent long-term musculoskeletal issues and reduce the needs for surgical interventions. So currently, developing countries like the Philippines lack sufficient screening program and baseline data, often leading to late diagnosis. And by implementing regular scoliosis screenings in school and addressing risk factors such as excessive backpack weight, schools can play a crucial role in reducing the incidence and severity of scoliosis, ultimately improving students' long-term spinal health. That's all. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Bon, and let's proceed to the gaps in the case study that need to be addressed by future researchers. So we have three. The first one is the longitudinal analysis. It's conducting long-term studies to monitor the progression of scoliosis in students identified with postural deviations would provide deeper insights into the natural course of the condition. So second is the intervention effectiveness. So evaluating the impact of interventions such as ergonomic school bag designs or posture training programs on reducing scoliosis risks among students. So finally, the last one is the broader demographic studies. So it means that expanding research to include students from various regions and socioeconomic backgrounds to determine if the identified risk factors are consistent across different population. That's all.